Hey, Kelly, how are you doing today?
Hi, Jess. How are you? I'm doing okay.
Good.
I'm doing good.
I asked my client scale of 1 to 10, 10 being great. Where are you today?
I'm gonna go with an 8. How about you?
I guess a 9.
Okay.
Living in gratefulness. How come your screen is like,
Smaller than yours?
oh, okay, that's how it is. Yours is bigger, so it must just see how we see each other. Because I wanted to see
Oh.
if you could see my background, because I don't see it on the screen, but you see I'm at a different location. Can you tell?
Yes, I do see your and
Okay,
do you notice I have a different
okay.
background?
Oh, you do. Are you in the same Oh, you laid your bookshelves down.
I did like a complete like redecoration. I'm gonna put it in a reel, but I was feeling just not motivated to be in this space. It just wasn't
Yeah.
feeling good. And I actually used Claude. I took a bunch of pictures of my room and I also measured my room and then I uploaded the measurements.
Yeah. So if people don't know what Claude is, it's AI. It's an
Sorry.
AI
It's like
chatbot, just like
ChatGPT.
ChatGPT.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I had it give me some recommendations. I've
Yeah.
tried Chat GPT on this, but ChatGPT doesn't get it. It doesn't understand. It like makes up pieces of furniture. It was making up space, and I uploaded the schematic, and it didn't follow the rules I set forth. Maybe I'm not good about telling it what to do, but Claude gets it. And anyway, so I moved everything around, and it really, the flow is fantastic. And
Good.
I did it right before mom and dad came because they stayed in this room.
Mm-hmm.
And it just feels a lot more open.
Yeah.
And I'm able to sort of rotate my desk out of the way when they're here because it's a multi-purpose space. I'm using it
Yeah.
for as a guest
Yeah.
room as well as my office. So I wanted it to feel like a true kind of office-y space. So yeah, I like it. It feels good. What about you? What made you decide to change where you are?
So I have 3 offices in my little suite, and one is where I see my clients, and one I was using as a studio, and it's where Gabby does nails for her clients. And I don't know why I chose offices I did, but this one, the one I'm in right now, I think is the biggest and it has 2 windows. And I was going to rent that space out and I tried to rent it out for a while and people annoyed me. So I love having this third office where like I'll go get the boys and I'll come back and see clients and they have a space. They sit in here, they do their homework. So I've decided I wanted to keep this space. And I have someone who wants to use my third space for a while for some storage purposes, for some baseball stuff. And I was like, why would I give them this bright room with the curtains and the rug and the 2 windows? And I'm not using it. And Gabby was doing nails a while ago. So I went over and did a couple telehealth sessions in this room. And so I moved the studio to this space. And I did buy some wall tiles to put in the other space. I'm thinking about renting that out just because it has out an access, like a door.
Yes.
They could just walk in, do their stuff, and leave and not really disturb the client stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, and I am like, I don't know why I didn't use this space before because I really was trying to rent it out. But now I don't know. Anyway,
Well, I mean, I think, how long have you been in that space?
since December 2024.
Okay. So you've been in there about 18 months and you've kind of tried on various rooms and you've kind of
Yeah.
tried on different things. And so I think this is an example too where we have to kind of be in a space for a while and kind of figure
Yeah.
out what is going to work for
Yeah.
us.
Yeah.
So I agree. I think that makes a lot of sense
Yeah.
to have that be that way. And I know you've long been talking about renting some of your space out.
Yeah.
So I hope
I
that
just
you find somebody that is going to work the way you want
Yeah,
them
I
to.
don't know. I would love it to be, and that's why I'm just waiting because I feel like the universe is going to bring me a perfect renter. So I don't want someone that works Monday through Friday, 40 hours a week. I want like someone who's like a massage therapist that's in Henderson Tuesday, Thursdays, or I need to put it out. I have a friend that's a hypnotherapist, and they want like a Henderson location just a little bit. But I love doing whatever I want. And like I said, I have 3 children. Being able to use this space, like Gabby has come here and done homework, or like I said, I'll get Giovanni and come back. And he loves their luxury vinyl floors. And I have rolling chairs. And so he just goes in the room and rolls. I can hear him when I'm in session, rolls back and forth. office. And I have markers and paper for him, and he'll do homework. Or I have another computer that it's his Netflix streaming computer. And so I kind of love that. We've talked about identity, and I remember thinking, I don't feel like I explained it very much, but we had an episode about identity, and I was saying that mom modeled having a career.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I praised it enough. I went on to say, and then she didn't show self-care. But I think it's really cool for them to see what I do and know what I do. And I'm sure I've talked about this before, but years ago, I had a few college roommates, and they didn't know what their mom majored in because their mothers were full-time at-home moms. And it's like they didn't know what their mom studied. They didn't know anything about their mom. And so I just think it's important that they see that I'm more than
Yeah.
just their mom.
Yes.
But they see me work, and I have a business.
Yes.
And I don't know if I shared, but I did take Giovanni to take your child to work day.
Yeah, I share that. It's how I talk about it. I didn't
Yeah.
hear it from you. I talked to mom a little bit about it, but people don't do it that as much as they used
No,
to.
the school
Right?
had testing on that day. He missed testing. I was like, you guys are dumb. I
Did they
remember
make an announcement like that it was coming up, or did you
it was just an
decide
email to
take
say
it?
if your kid is going to go your child to work day,
Okay.
you have to send a letter with letterhead for it to be an excused absence. And you and I are talking about different AI.
Yes.
I also want to I sent Kelly this awesome reel about AI, was it the 4 or 5 AIs and what they all do for you?
Yeah, that was really
And
great.
I feel like Chat is my ride or die, and I can't let Chat go. So I am paying for Claude and Chat.
I am doing the same, Jess.
But Chat tells you what you want to hear, and I know that. And so that's dangerous. So Claude is very good with coding, planning, and producing gorgeous, aesthetically gorgeous outputs.
Yes.
And oh, go ahead.
Yeah.
I feel like you want to say something. I interrupt you.
I think you have to kind of figure out which one works for what you need, right?
So Claude has a lot of safeguards. So when I ask Claude to do things, Claude won't do it because it's so ethical, but Chat does it. So I shared before, but let's say I took a photo of myself and said, can you make me look blonde? Claude won't do that because ethically they don't change photos, and Chat will do that. I'm not doing unethical things, but you have to be careful because I was talking to a student and they said, oh, this is for my homework assignment, and Claude won't do it. If you say it's for homework, Claude won't do it. So you have to say, I'm researching a thing or whatever. And so Chat will just totally do it. But anyway, so I say that because I told Claude because Claude and Chat you and I use for our businesses so much, Claude knows what I do for work. And so I said, I'm bringing my child to take your child to work day. Can you make a workbook for him that explains what it is to be a therapist, what it is that I do, and a little quiz, and I would like a case study and have him do a diagnosis. And that was my prompt. And it was so beautiful and colorful. And I sent it to Kelly because it was the cutest, most adorable workbook. And when I took Gabby to take your child to work day 8 years ago, I literally gave her this treatment plan book and said, I want you to diagnose it. And I would talk to mom about it because our mom has been in community health before, and the worksheets and the handouts and the flyers for education that I've had to do over the years, that Claude makes it so beautiful. I was showing mom, and my mom was, because mom had to do trainings and bloodborne pathogens trainings and CPR trainings and her life on how it makes it so aesthetically beautiful.
Yes.
And so it made this little workbook for him with a little case study. And it gave him options. So it described the kind of interventions that I use. So cognitive behavioral therapy, internal family systems therapy, how I specialize in anxiety disorders. And so it gave him options to choose. And it was so silly. It was what does LCSW stand for? And it was licensed, crazy, silly worker. It was just so age appropriate and so cute and so fun. And so he did that. And then I took him out to lunch and then took him out for ice cream. And I made him dress up. He's like, why do I have to dress up? And, for him, it was nice jeans and a polo. But I was like, well, this is a professional setting and you have to be professional. And so it was just fun to, when you can spend a day with
Yeah.
one-on-one time with your kid.
Well, I think it's
So.
really cool for him to really get a sense of, a day in the life, right?
Yeah. But also, I know you had said mom and dad had visited. I didn't know if you had wanted to share on the podcast or not what you guys have been going through and why mom and dad were visiting.
So my father-in-law passed away and we had his service, and my husband's an only child, and it was a lot for him and his mom. And so, mom and dad came because they obviously knew my father-in-law. And so,
You
they
guys have been
stayed with
together
us
27 years.
20 years this year. But yeah, I mean, I
Married
guess,
versus together. You've been
sure. Yeah,
together.
we've been together a long time. So they definitely have known him.
Yeah.
And so I think it was hard. It's definitely hard hosting people and then also dealing with a death in the family too.
Yeah.
And so just really kind of balancing that and having the good news. Well, I thought what was great is one of Brian's really good friends stayed with us too. So that was really nice just to kind of neutralize, because mom and dad are a lot, dad is a lot. And so it's just nice to have somebody else kind of there for him to talk to.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Mom said the loss of Marty really had dad in like a different space of like gratitude, and you know what I mean? Like,
Okay. Yeah.
why he
That's good.
maybe not, but like that
Sure,
he was well behaved, because it was like, let's get a grip. Let's be thankful we're alive and not yell about politics.
I'm just kind of over like cringing for dad. He definitely talks a lot and things that aren't relevant to a conversation. And like,
What do
we're
you
in
mean
the
cringing?
middle
Oh,
of
like you get embarrassed about him
I'm
with
not
other
embarrassed
people?
much
Oh.
anymore. I just am kind of like, oh God, here we go. It's like we're in the middle of like talking to, I don't know if other people feel that way about their parents, but it used to annoy me. Whereas now I'm just like,
Yeah.
I just kind of grin and bear it. We went back over to my mother-in-law's house after the funeral, and he just like talked and talked about all these other things that had nothing to do with Marty. And I don't know. I just like, it doesn't grind on me as much as it used to.
Good.
It was more like observing.
Yeah.
That
Reminds me of why I'm obsessed with the 4 agreements about not taking things personally. And it's like, we can't manage other people, and people know they're not a reflection of us. Right? So like, let's say you went somewhere and your partner or spouse got drunk, or, I don't know, that you would be like, oh my, what's everyone thinking? What's everyone going to think? What's everyone think? It's like, you're you, they're them.
Yes.
And people know
it has
that
nothing
you're
to
separate
do. Exactly.
people,
It has
and you
nothing to do
can't
with
manage everyone.
Yeah.
Like, that's crazy to think that we can. So being able to let go of that is very freeing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I really just focused on kind of, it was hard to watch the kids. Obviously, it was hard for them too. It was nice to see a lot of family. And, mom and dad just kind of plunk in and figure stuff out. So, and it was great that they were able to see Beckett, a soccer game for Beckett and a couple baseball games for Wes. So they kind of got their grandparenting in a little bit too.
Also, dad was very impressed with your crockpot chicken. Whatever you did, maybe it wasn't a crockpot chicken.
Yes.
That they made it. He had to make it this week and bring to our house because he thought it was just the best meal ever. And so they brought it here. And it does remind me, you did inspire. I know you and I hate meal. We talk so much about one of the hardest things for adulting for us is the food, having to plan dinner for the rest of our lives. And Gabby and I went to visit you, and you had bought ahi and made poke bowls. And I love ahi so much. And I never would think I could prepare raw fish in my own home. And that inspired us. And so we started going to Poke Express and just buying the poke, make your own poke bowls. But now we're like, but you inspired that too. So look at you. You've inspired on 2 different occasions with your meals of recipes for us.
That's awesome. I would say that I try to keep things simple for the most part. I know mom's always been that way too. The crockpot chicken thing, we do a lot of chicken.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of shredded chicken. And I was like, oh, I know the kids like shredded chicken because, like, I don't know about you, if I make a bunch of chicken breasts, if I shred it and slap some barbecue sauce on there, my kids will eat that like all day on a bun. And so I just did the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just was like, I use chat a lot.
Yeah.
I use ChatGPT a lot for recipe planning. I don't know if you do.
I don't. And my husband and I like tag team. And we have good weeks and bad weeks on whether we're like, and we're really good about not eating out, but it might be like, what do we have in the here? You have a hamburger. You have a sandwich. What else can I find? Oh, you have this. But I love shredded meat. I love the crock pot. You and I grew up with the crock pot. My husband
Yes.
did not grow up with the crock pot. In fact, our mom and dad made pot roast in a crock pot while my in-laws were visiting years ago, and they thought my parents invented the crock pot. Like they were like, this
Really?
is so amazing. They never had a crock pot. They went out and bought a crock pot, and they discovered a crock pot, 10 years ago. And so Justin doesn't like crock pot meat. He thinks it all tastes the same no matter what you put in. It all comes out the same. But I love it. And my kids love soft, like tacos. They love to put everything in a tortilla. So like I did that with beef like twice this month. And because Gabby's home and she needs something quick for leftovers. And so she just heats a tortilla. We have gas stovetop. She heats her tortilla on the flame. She throws in meat, and makes herself like whatever. And so I do love a crock pot, but I don't do it that often because my husband, he had a mother who made a home cooked meal with like no shortcuts every night of his life. And so
Oh,
we
like a
grew up with like
very
boxed potatoes or
detailed.
mac and cheese and hot dogs or, but he had like definitely like a meat and a carb and a veggie every night. And so there were no shortcuts. So sometimes I cater more to him because we had two parents that worked a lot. I don't know. I can eat a lot of things and not care. I'm not that picky.
My kids, I don't know if your kids have talked about this, but there's a reel about like when you come home and your mom has the crock pot out.
Mm-hmm.
Like the Gen Zers,
Yeah.
Gen Alphas are very anti crock pot. Like they
Okay,
think
that's
it's
funny.
like slop.
That's funny. Yeah.
And so the kids joke, and I was like, but it's not a crock pot, it's an Instapot. That's different. And they're like, it's
Yeah.
the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So they're always like, meh, something is in the crock pot when they come home.
I don't do it as much anymore, but I do. Kelly, I do love a crock pot. And I think you and I have talked about this. Where are you on a casserole? You don't like a casserole.
I used to do a lot of casseroles.
I don't cook a casserole ever, but your love of a casserole. I love a casserole. I love a one pot meal.
Really?
How about you?
Yeah. Making one, yes. Eating one, boring.
No. Okay. I have like so many casserole cookbooks that I bought when we first got married. And my spouse, again, hates a casserole. I love a one pot anything. I could just reheat it every day for 2 weeks and have the same thing.
My husband is more about whatever. If you're cooking it, he's not going to say anything.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he'll eat whatever I throw
told
together.
Justin when we got married, just tell me how great I look every day and that my food is good and we'll be married forever. He does neither of those things. And I said one time, like, why don't you, like years ago, like, I just say it's good. Why aren't you telling me it's good? He's like, because if I tell you it's good and I don't like it, I'm going to have to eat it for the next 50 years. And I don't want to do that. And I was like, touche. That is okay. You're right. Right. If he lies to me, he'll have to keep having something he hates. So that's interesting.
You have a husband who also cooks. Like, how much does
Yes.
he cook versus you?
It's just like, it's very 50-50, but not like literally every other day. It's just who's having a good week, who has the energy. It's like who comes home and wants their life to end versus who comes home and has enough energy to be upright for 30 more minutes. And so I don't know if you feel this way, but the other day he was like, I'm just craving hot dogs. I'm craving it. So he'll just like get a meal in his mind and be like, oh, I'm going to go like run to the grocery store and make it.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
one of the things
I love that.
he's been doing a lot is it's like we're both done around 3:30 and he'll call and say, do you have a plan for dinner? And if I don't, he'll go to the grocery store and figure something out. And so like he really wanted hot dogs. And so the kids were like, you guys are freaks. And they're like, don't you crave a hot dog? And Gabby's like, no one craves hot dog. I'm like, I totally crave a hot dog. That makes sense to me. We grew up with hot dogs a lot of hot dogs. And so that's kind of comfort food for us a little bit. And so, yeah, it's pretty much 50-50.
I definitely crave things. I don't crave a hot dog, but I know I have probably get it a couple times a year when we go to a baseball game. So
Yeah.
I hear what you're saying for sure. So my birthday is coming up along with Mother's Day. And I have said, as much as I want stuff, this year I'm really trying to lean into like intangibles for gifts. And so I've actually asked to not prepare dinner for a week and to like not be in charge of it, not do any meal planning, to just like literally take a week off of meals. And Brian's like, well, then we're just going to order in. I was like, I don't care. You're in charge and you can do whatever you want. But that would be
Yes.
what I would like as a gift to myself.
I love that for you.
It's something different. I tend to cook probably 3 times a week, 2 to 3 times a week, really big meals and make sure we have leftovers.
And
That's
then
kind of
leftovers
been
the
my
other
jam.
days.
Yeah.
Does Brian cook at all? He's a grill master. Will he grill?
I grill now
You
too.
grill.
He grills too, but I don't remember the last time. I know he made dinner in the last couple weeks, but it was like, I will say, I'm going to go take Beckett. You're making dinner. Here's where I'm at. Here's the recipe. You take it from here kind of thing.
Yeah.
And he'll do that. Like he'll follow a recipe. He doesn't have any problems with it.
Yeah.
It's just usually either he comes home late or I tend to take on the making the dinners and he's tend to probably lean into the picking up the kids thing.
Yeah.
But
no,
it
I just was
depends.
curious if he cooks like
he does zero cooking basically.
I know, like I have a friend, and maybe I'm creating this narrative myself, who doesn't like cooking. Their spouse does not cook at all. And they hate cooking. And so they just like every night figure slapping something very minimal together to try to feed their family. So some people just hate cooking, never learn to cook, don't like cooking. It's just interesting, right? Like,
yes.
I don't know if like cooking. I like messing with flavors and trying new things and looking up recipes. Do I want to do that every single day all the time? Not necessarily.
Yeah, I've really settled into this like cooking like Sunday night, Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah.
And maybe one more. So what did I do? Like Sunday night, we had a bunch of leftovers because we had family in. And then last night I prepared a meal.
Yeah.
I made coconut curry shrimp and I bought 4 pounds of shrimp from Costco. So it's 4 pounds. I was like, I made enough for 4 pounds. So it's a huge vat of that. And that'll get us through. You know, also kids are taking it for lunch sometimes. We always try to order in once a week, but we've really even tried to minimize that. I do find myself also just, the reason I've changed kind of how I cook is we're setting a very strict weekly grocery budget. And so I can only spend so much in a given week on that. And so I've had to quit buying things I think I'm going to need in the future. For example, I'm out of Kalamata Greek olives and I would normally be like, oh my God, I got to go get some Greek olives. I'm out. But I don't have anything planned to cook that needs them.
Right.
So I've really kind of slowed my spend is really what that is.
We spend a lot on groceries, but we have a lot of mouths to feed, I feel like. And I've shared before, but any given night, we could have 5 to 8 people at our house. I don't know who will be over. But I also hate food waste. So I don't like unnecessary. So that's where we used to do like a weekly shopping and now it's almost like a day-to-day shopping situation.
Okay.
But we love a lot of stuff. We love like a frozen thing that you can throw in. Like Sam's has this amazing shrimp scampi that it's frozen shrimp, butter garlic, add that to a pasta. Bam. Trader Joe's has some frozen meals I've shared before that we love, some frozen tacos, things like that. And then that doesn't go to waste because it's in the freezer. And so, you know what I mean? Like I like having that too. And then that way, and then just kind of depends on who's at our house with these teenagers. They may not be there, so it's like sometimes we don't know day to day how many people we have to feed. And so having a lot of frozen things really helps us out too. And is a little bit more economical as well. And I love things from like Sam's or like, you've done it before at Costco. You can buy like the I know you had done like that steak sirloin that's sliced and you reheat up. That's also nice when you're really busy, when you're not having, when all you're after doing is like putting things in the microwave and getting it on the table.
Yes. Yeah. I'm a little slower with work in the afternoons lately where I haven't
Yeah.
had any late afternoon calls, so I can kind of get a head start. But I've
Mm-hmm.
also been, really 30 minutes to make a meal is
Yeah.
not difficult if you know what you're going to do. Like if
Yeah.
it's I think the bane of my existence is just defrosting things.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so
If you have to be
the other
on
day I made
top of it.
salmon and this salmon was already defrosted. It was like fresh salmon. So I just threw it in there and then I made asparagus. That's like a
Yeah.
20-minute meal.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so it's just learning. I feel like I'm just kind of like looking at things differently now.
Yeah. Yeah.
So we'll
Um,
see.
One more
Yeah.
thing, before we go too, is just to remind you guys our free download for May. It's something that we really want you guys to have. It's called the Real Over Perfect Weekly Check-In. 5 questions you can come back to every single week. Check in with who you actually are right now, not who you think you should be, not who everyone else needs you to be. And this goes in with the meal planning. And I wonder for you, Kelly, during May with identity, if you are wanting for your gift to not cook meals, it's like the wheels are turning on like, okay, you've got a teen that can watch the grocery store and like cook a meal for you. And that can start
Yes.
becoming part of his identity because I know he likes
Yes.
cooking
Yeah,
too.
that's a really great point. I agree. And
Yeah.
we made this download for May because just like you said, we needed it ourselves.
Yeah.
And I think if this month has really resonated, with anybody, especially the topics that we've had, I know for
Yeah.
myself, the identity piece, our worthiness conversation, and really figuring out who you've become, who we're becoming.
Yeah. And you can just screenshot it, save it. We love a weekly routine. Put it in your Sunday routine. It just takes 5 minutes and it's free when you head to chasingbrighter.com/newsletter.
Let's check it out, chasingbetter.com.
And check out our socials. I've really been messing around with TikTok. So if you're interested in what the heck we're doing over on TikTok, all of our socials are at Chasing Brighter. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll see you next week.